You are live. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to check if there's any sound on this thing. So let's open the sound. I really don't get why. So I am on the link for this thing. Okay, so now I'm there. Sound is working. Yay! Good. But for some reason, I wasn't able to get in there until I was 33 seconds into it. But never mind, I'm here. And I'm not the only one. Yay! So, welcome. I am just gonna talk a bit. Feel free to write in the chat if you have any questions about your spiritual development. Could be anything, but basically about energy, about spirit guides, or anything that you would consider spirituality. So I'm just gonna give it a few seconds because for some reason, when I share the link for this live stream, it doesn't open immediately. So I want to find out if people are going to find, but I didn't do any advertising as such for it this time because, hey, neurodivergent psychic, I didn't want to. And the most important part is that this is the third week in a row where I'm on time. Yay me. So sometimes we celebrate the small wins, right? So I am not going to talk a lot yet about the big things, and I haven't really tapped into my spirit guides yet. So I'm just going to warm up, and it's really warm already. The sun is shining. But if you watch this later, then hi, welcome. I'm Michelle, and this is, I've been calling it live Q&A, but I'm going to change the name because what I do is I mentor people, I guide, I support them on their spiritual journey. I used to think that I was going to do a lot of psychic readings and mediumship sessions and healing. And then I thought I was going to teach by giving courses, and I still am, but not how I thought it was going to be. So mentoring, that's the thing where I have the best spirit guide team in the world. And I keep pointing here because they're up there. That's where I tap into them. And they are excellent at helping me locate gifts, talents, where people are strong in their, let's call them powers, because a lot of people forget how amazing it is what we're able to do. So I'm just here to remind you, you're amazing. This is amazing. Doing what I do is amazing, and doing what you do could be amazing. And it might already be. But if for some reason you don't find it all amazing, hopefully I can help you and they can help you. So feel free to always pop by and ask questions. I may not always answer immediately, but my hope is that people who tune in here have had their challenges, struggles, and some have overcome them. Some have found new ones, but we can help each other. So use the chat for your place as your place to get support and share tips, tricks, what worked for you. But what I would like to stress is that we are not the same. And as in the same way that you have, I don't know why fruits came up, but you can say, I love fruit. And fruit is not just one thing. So I love energy. And I may, in my garden, have an apple tree, and I have strawberries, and I may also actually have some things that are not fruit, but vegetables. And the combination of it could be delicious if I know how to combine it. And it's the same. I'm sorry for all these images, metaphors, analogies, but it's the same with energy work and your development, because you may have had a teacher who was an amazing clairvoyant, so they're seeing things very clearly. You may have had a teacher who heard things or knew things, and a teacher that had a different combination, and maybe even one who did all of them. And you think that's how it's supposed to be, and that's how we're all supposed to be. But actually, it's not. We have different ways to access what we're good at. And I, for one, used to think that the clairvoyance, that was my thing, because I'm super visual. Like, if you tell me a joke and I cannot make an image of it in my head, I'm going to look like this. That doesn't make sense. So, and also right now, people are talking about the joke where, do you know why the chicken crossed the road? To get to the other side. And I'm like, of course, you have to cross the road to get to the other side. But it's the other side, as in the spirit realm. I would not have thought about that, because that was not in the words or in it wasn't leading up to that. So I would simply see a chicken, tick, 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 walking across the street, getting to the other side. Fine. I would not see the car making sure it got to another version of the other side. And that is why I always thought, because I think visually, and it's important for me to be able to see things visually before I get it. And I believe I have a very great sense of humor. Some people disagree, especially my husband, because he doesn't get the picture thing. So he sometimes uses expressions and says things where I'm like, that, what are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't exist, because I cannot see it. I cannot imagine it. So I'm not saying something is wrong with the way he's expressing himself, but it's not very helpful. And this has been a long way for me to explain that I thought I was super visual, and that was my biggest clair. But actually, my biggest clair is claircognizance, and that is not amazing. It's been amazing in my life, because I've just known things. Unfortunately, I used to think it's just because I'm super clever, and I am. I have been studying and studying and studying and studying, and I love learning new things. And I'm super, how do we call it? Super intelligent. So now I know all the words that I need, except for the one I'm looking for right now. I am super, I'm good at adapting. And I didn't realize that a lot of things that I just knew didn't come from me or the knowledge I had. And I thought, okay, I'm just deducting, I'm analyzing, and I can just, So these things make my conclusion logical and obvious, but others didn't see it that way. So if you have the curse and blessing of your biggest clair to be claircognizance, also called clair-knowing, it is amazing once you learn how to sense or know when it's in use and it's not just your brain. So I thought that if I learned how to combine it and I made it bigger, and I thought I had to know how to use all of them, and I didn't really want to, the whole tasting and smelling, I wasn't too sure I wanted that, because you hear people, there's a smell of smoke or taste of vomit. Who wants that? But I thought I had to practice all of that. I thought you had to be good at all of that, but you don't, because people who only know about one of their clairs can actually do very good readings and live a beautiful spiritual life, and might even earn a living from using it. But the thing is, things are changing, and the more you allow yourself to use all the clairs, the easier it's going to be over time, but not in the beginning. So for me, realizing how these other clairs worked together has been so enlightening. And my team has made me aware that how I put things together might not be how you do it. You might have access to all the clairs just like me, but you have a different language, right? So let's say I tap into, so actually right now as I'm sitting here, I'm just doing that. I'm tapping in. So first, if you don't know how I work, I'm right now, boom, sending down my energy into Mother Earth to connect to ground, and then I'm pulling it up, and I send out a beam into the universe, and then I'm kind of as above, so below. I'm linked to all of it, and then I dial up to my guides. I know this is very much computer language, but I feel like I'm ringing. There's a connection. This is new, actually. I didn't used to think of it like that, but recently it's really been like it's ringing. It's the connection is being made. I used to just know, okay, I have connection, but new things are coming, and that is what is so important for you to know, that if you used to do things in a specific way, if you knew, okay, I have clairvoyance, I see images, I see movies, I know everything because boom, it's just crystal clear. Like I have the biggest screen in front of me and they're giving me everything in that image. You may not have that same access anymore, and you feel as though I've lost it. I'm not good at this anymore. Maybe I should try something else. And this is not the way that I'm going, even though I thought it was. Or you probably just have been given, is the wrong word, but the other clairs are developing. So before you might have, let's say if you're a medium, you might get like a family portrait. Is like, oh, so I have this spirit coming through and it was a family father. I see 3 kids and the wife, and it looks beautiful. And you could tell everything from that one picture because you just saw it. But you probably didn't think about that. You also knew. So you see the picture as beautiful and the atmosphere, and you can just tell it's a loving relationship, and they're a very close family, and you think it's just because they're standing very close and the atmosphere looks, but you're also sensing, you're knowing, you're already combining all of that. And now, because you may have not been diving too much into that, you're getting the gift of finding out how else to use the other gifts, because in combination it's going to be so much better, because then you're not just delivering information, but you're portraying personality in a way where you can sense them, and you can just be in it so much more than if you're just looking as a viewer on a picture, if you know what I mean. And if you already have the emotional part and the knowing, or maybe only emotions, maybe you don't see the picture, because that was me in the beginning. I could do psychic readings and get a lot of images. I could see people sitting in school when they were 7 years old, and I could see a teacher scolding them, and then I would work on that because I do coaching, psychic coaching, and then I could say, okay, so I sense, so that was my clairsentience. I sense that you struggled today with some self-confidence issues based on a teacher when you were 7 years old. And I see you have a book and you're reading. So it was something about how you were communicating, or I would get all of that. And I would, as I'm talking, my clair knowing would come in, my intuition, and I might actually hear someone screaming something, and I would know what they were screaming. It could be just one word like idiot or baboon or whatever, or it could be I hear a sentence that they may actually, I know this sounds crazy if you haven't experienced it, but sometimes they can take tiny bits of information from my database and use it. So it could be that I saw in a movie someone say, "You're useless, you're never going to amount to anything." So I didn't hear that teacher say that, but I heard it from a movie and I knew, so it's something along the lines of that the teacher told them, and it still stays in there, and then we can work on that. So it's so many things combined. A tiny clear, now I don't even remember the words for clear hearing, but it's a claircognizance, clairaudience. So they will better be able to give me a fuller picture if they can show me tiny things where they're making a big puzzle of emotions, of knowing, of words, of images, and sometimes even taste or smell. So it could be that so I'm back in a coaching situation, and let's go to self-confidence, because that's a biggie. So many people struggle with that, and I'm just here to tell you, you're so amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. Why care so much about other people's opinion if you know you're a good person and you're doing your best, and they're not critical for your job or your livelihood, or we care so much about the stranger in the street. Why? I don't get it. But that's me. I've worked so hard on getting there. So yes, I do get it, but I don't get why we're programmed like that. But let's say I'm working with a client, and then my smell sense, so my nose gets activated, and I may get a whiff of sweat or something, and that could be okay. So I suddenly see a locker room, and I know, okay, so there was something about someone bullying you because you one day didn't wear deodorant and you smelled because you didn't have the deodorant. And it's something so basic, but that's where the smell is good, because I don't smell it as though I have it in my nose. It's a memory. So I get a memory of how it smells. Okay, and then it's gone. It's not staying there. I'm not smelling sweat for an hour or so. So it's really cool how that works. And once you realize that, something is coming here and there, and now I'm seeing these things, that's awesome. So you might, I just saw there's a bee. I don't know, it's actually a wasp. If it was a bee, I would be saving it. If it's a wasp, I need to be careful. It'll stay over there. I'm just sending my energy. Stay and don't make any noise, okay? Yeah. So back to topic, if I can remember the topic. Using all the clears is making it easier to create, like, not just from 2D to 3D, but to 4D to 5D. You might even feel the wind in your hair if you love to be outside and feel the wind in your hair. It's amazing, all the things that you can get when you don't focus too much on how you thought it was going to be, or the thing you used to be good at but might not be anymore. And I'm saying this because this has happened to a lot of people that I used to like that. In mediumship, I could say, it's a mom, her name is, and she died of this. I'd practice that, and for some reason, even though I kept on practicing like that, and I told them that is how I wanted, I don't get that anymore. And instead of saying, I'm not good at this anymore, I'm not going to do it anymore, I just started to find out, okay, how can I get in there instead? And I do what I do best. I allow them to use me to show who they were, like body language, like how they communicated. I let them work through me instead of me being a channel who is just giving messages. And that's what I love doing. But you might find mediums who are amazing and they're just sitting there with a straight face and they can deliver all the information, and you can get super impressed by that too. There's no right or wrong way. I do it the way that gives me joy and energy. And you know what? I think you should too, because then you find your style. You find out what kind of clients would prefer to work with you, because just like I don't know why I'm thinking about dentists, but one dentist might be someone you love going to, and another would be someone you hate, and then your best friend. It's the other way around, because we have preferences, we have the different ways of communicating. Just like I'm visual, and some might be auditorial, some some need logic, some need other things, clarity. We are different, and there's no one right way or wrong way, as long as it's your way. So give yourself the pleasure of having fun exploring all of this. And when you're just, some people might be looking at me and I'm saying, okay, so my guides are saying, and they think, I cannot hear my guides. Maybe I don't have guides. Maybe they have abandoned me. I'm not worthy. I'm this is how people have told me that, yeah, I'm no good, and who am I to, and I just encourage you to, okay, so I'm not hearing them with my ear. What am I then getting? Because they are communicating always if you ask and allow. And I ask and allow all the time. I wake up in the morning, take a breath, and I'm thinking, okay, guides, what are we doing today? As always, feel free to guide me if needed. And then I don't do much else. I just try to fill myself up with love and light and be a beam and attract all the good. But then I might feel down, or I might get new information. That's when I tap into them. So I'm not tapped in all the time. I just open the connection for them to gently tap and say, we have some information for you, and here it is. And it could be, if I am, especially when I'm doing these videos, because they have nudged me to do them, they want me to share what they're giving. And sometimes I might be saying things where I'm saying, so people are changing, and it's as though they're losing their powers, and then nope, they're not losing it, it's changing. So that's how they come through, to make sure that I give correct information and they deliver. And it's awesome. And you know what? You can do that too. Yes, you can do that too. And I know a lot of people who will be tuning in to what I am sending or uploading will already have done that to some degree, but very, very few of us have tapped into what we're actually able to do now and what is going to be possible. And it's so cool. I mean, sometimes they show me as though I am in a sci-fi movie. They're showing me things that are going to be possible, and I'm just like, wow, this is insane. And I'm so grateful for all the sci-fi movies that are beautiful, because they give us some way to grasp what's coming. I mean, without Avatar, I would not have been able to understand the energy of plants. So for instance, in Avatar, they touch plants and they light up and it spreads out. Just for me, seeing that one thing, it has given me so much regarding my understanding and also curiosity as how things work. And I have actually heard plants, the vibration of plants, because I got the idea that, oh, wow, the plants react and it spreads out and there's an energy. I wonder how it is on Earth. So I have sat there and I could hear different kinds of plants and vegetables. Just some had this very low vibration, and some were more like, but they have their own frequencies, and it's so amazing. And when I have to explain things, and especially when I'm doing those healing meditations that I do, that usually channeled, it's I have to be able to see it, to understand it. And without a lot of those movies, I wouldn't have known what they were talking about, because they do not talk. They are not saying, Michelle, this is what you're supposed to be saying. Now imagine plants are communicating, because some of it is images, some is emotions, some is knowing. And I actually don't get why it's so hard for me to hear clearly, just blah, 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 blah. That means a lot of clear communication, in case you doubted that. And why it's so hard for them to, like, okay, I'm going back to mediumship. So today I just had a reading, and the person coming through, and I've had this a few times, and they're making me aware now that I build a pattern, and it's my own, not fault, but I kind of created this, because I hear a name, and they would say, that's not the name, but it's the same amount of syllables. And I'm like, then why give me the name? Why not say one syllable, And I don't get it. So today also, it was a name with one syllable. And I said, that's not the name, but it's a very short name. And yeah, it was. And I'm just wondering why. And it would actually be cool to find out. So I'm going to try to ask my guides now. And I sense now a tiny fear of not getting the answer here. Oh, I haven't even noticed there was a question. I'm going to go into that too. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go into that right away. So, Tina Love and Light. Hi, Michelle. So it's in Danish, and I'm just going to translate it. I'm hearing short tinnitus sounds in different frequencies, and I feel it's my guides. But how do I interpret it? So let me go into that. So I am getting that you already noticed that sometimes they change, and that's why you want to interpret it, because I have it too. I have, like, all the time at least 4 different sounds. I have, like, very low, and then some high pitch, so high that I can hardly hear it. And sometimes I get this almost angelic sound, and they're kind of, it's like an orchestra, and you're getting that too from time to time, or the sounds are changing. So that's why, it's not just there's something broken in there that's making this sound. So let's ask. And because I've been trying to fix my tinnitus, so I have an emotional interest in finding out the answer to this. And I have been doing a lot of things to try and fix it, because first I thought, oh yeah, I'm psychic, because it started after I went into meditation. But then again, before, maybe I wasn't quiet enough to hear it, So I've been really thinking, I'm just getting downloads. It's downloads, it's spiritual stuff. But it just keeps coming, and sometimes it's high-pitched and not. So what I want to do now, I always explain these things, because that's how I learn, and people who come here might learn something from that too. But I'm going to imagine I'm going to take a step back, so that my logical brain isn't going to find all the information about tinnitus, because I have researched it and not come up with the answer. So how do you interpret the sounds from tinnitus? And I also want to ask, are they from the guides? Or immediately I'm hearing that we are hearing the song of the universe, but that was not only it. So that is one of it. We're hearing actually how the universe sounds from a higher frequency, because we have kind of moved up, and that's why we're getting those tunes. We're actually just in tune. As long as we work with light, we are able to hear, just like bats. They can hear frequencies, the sonar thingy. And this is some of that related to the universe. So the tinnitus sounds have different purposes, there is the tinnitus where you've actually had too many sounds, and they're saying it's like there's confusion in the ears and in the brain and the connection. But if you, as a light worker, want to know how to interpret the sounds, you can practice it. So let's say this is fun, because they're actually showing me that for some people, not all, because some of it might just actually be that you have something that you cannot get rid of. But for me, for instance, they're showing me that I have different tunes going, and some of them are communication, and I can practice this. So let's say I have a red pen and a blue pen, and I can simply quiet my mind. Ha ha ha, neurodivergent, very close to impossible, but as close as possible. So you go into a meditation, and let's just say you have, for some reason, they want it to be tangible. So not because, okay, interesting. A lot of times when we're just imagining things, it's hard for us to truly some people, yeah. So because we have different abilities, different clairs, different combinations, if we actually hold it in our hand, it's way easier to grasp it and be sure, because you can hold it up or you can squeeze it. And some of you will just have a feeling of, okay, so it's this. So back to the exercise. So you just, and I'm not going to talk about how to meditate or how to, because if you're here, you probably already work with your guides or psychic stuff or healing. And if not, I have plenty of meditation videos, and it's basically what I showed in the beginning of the video. Boom, I ground myself, tap into the earth, I go up, and then close my eyes, breathe, and then I feel me, just me. And then I tune in, I dial up. So however you connect with your guides, I have a video about that too. But you say, okay, show me how to know which tune here is a confirmation tune. So, and for some you need it differently, but for me, I used to teach IT, so there's yes and there's no, there are zeros and ones, and I like, okay, can I have a yes and a no in the tunes? This is really cool. I want to work with this. I'm also studying sound healing, so that would be very awesome if I could hear that. But let's say I have two choices. So I could just hold the blue one, and then I would lie down the red one to get it out of my system and just say, so this pen, is it red? And then I would simply calm down, because I would have my own intuition saying, no. And that's a good exercise for you too. If you doubt how you sense yourself without your guides, how do I know if something is true? You can do the same. So this is a red pen, and there's somewhere in your body, or if you're claircognizant, clair-knowing, you'll just know, nope, not true. Or if it's in your clairsentience, you feel things, maybe your body is gonna that ick feeling, like your stomach is turning over, or pressure on the chest, or however you're getting it. Or it may be that you're clairaudient, you're sitting here and no. However you get it, you can practice that. So when you're only using your own intuition, that is really an awesome tool to know how does lies and untrue things feel in my energy system. But we're on the sound now. So let's just say I'm just going to practice this very quickly and ask my guides to help me. So and for some reason, they're informing me that it's better, instead of saying, is this a blue or a red pen, it's easier if I actually lie, because I am more I'm more open to getting guidance because I have asked them. So if I'm wrong about things, please inform me so that I can improve. And to most of you, that would probably be true too, because we don't like to lie. We don't like to say things that are not true. So, and And a lot of people who struggle with their spiritual development will also struggle with getting the answer to a question. That was interesting for me. So if you ask, is this red? And then you're waiting and you're thinking nothing's coming. Ugh, same old, they're not talking to me. So instead you just say, okay, use my tinnitus, use these tunes, and then you go in, you tap into the energy of the color of the pen or whatever you're holding. It's just it has to, so you can, so red or blue or whatever, and you just say, when you can hear the tunes, I'm talking so much that I tap out of this all the time. So make sure that you don't have a video of me running in the background. But have a video of me running in the background all the time. Otherwise, I will not ever get enough views. So, but for that exercise, you don't have to. Sorry, that was bad. I'm going to go back to this. So this pen. Oh no, my brain just made it red in my mind. Stupid brain. No, not stupid brain. Okay, I have to look at it just to make sure that I am not visually turning it into it, because I believe in manifestation. That would be cool if all of you suddenly saw a red pen in my hand. Okay, not gonna go there. Okay, so this is a red pen. Okay, interesting. So one of the sounds just got clear. So as I said, I have 4 different levels of sounds all the time. And there's one that's just a bit high-pitched, but somehow in the middle of my head. Yeah, because now it's not there anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go with the actual red one and see if there's a different tone. This is a red pen. I'm not hearing the tone that was there when I said something that wasn't true. So let's see. I do get a very sharp ringing. No, not very sharp, but just a tiny bit sharper. Sometimes it's just these fine-tunements, very, very fine-tunements. Okay, this is a blue pen. Okay. That doesn't feel nice. It feels as though I'm getting like a helmet of energy. I can't even. Okay, no, it's a red pen. Yes, it's a red pen. And this is a blue pen. That was crazy. What happened? That was like energy around me was just tuning up, and the sound was as if I was in a wind turbine or something. So try to practice that. But I'm not getting, they're not sending you messages as such when you're getting the tinnitus. You're getting, it's kind of you being connected. So in sound healing, we talk about how there are different vibrations and frequencies. So for instance, your crown chakra has a frequency of 963 hertz, which means that if you play that tune, you're connecting there and you can align things, and different body parts have different vibrations and frequencies. So you can use different like tuning forks to balance that out. And some of the tinnitus that we're hearing is, they're showing me as though it's because we are tuned in and they've shown me this grid around the world many times. That is all the light workers, past and present, and even future, actually, for some reason now. Not so much though, but everyone who's been working in light and love and raising the frequency, we're connected to that. So hearing that tinnitus is a way of us to knowing that we're on the grid, that we're connected. And that is very good for people who doubt that. And if you do not have tinnitus, it does not mean that you're not connected, but maybe the clairaudience isn't something that you notice. I've actually had like a voice as though a person was standing right next to me and talking to me. And I've only had it once, but that was enough for me to locate and know, okay, so that is coming. That's where I'm hearing them, and that's where I'm tapping in. So, but you can definitely use the ringing as confirmation and also as warnings. And it's just if it's unpleasant. And yeah, tinnitus can be unpleasant at all times. But it's actually funny that even though I have these 4 tunes, I have maybe more, but I can still sleep. I just think of it as I'm listening to the songs of the universe or something, and that's fine. But sometimes it's that it gets intense. And this was really when I said that about the red pen being blue or something. It just felt as though energy was causing pressure around my skull. So I hope. Oh, and back to the question, Tina Love and Light also said that you feel that it's your guides, and yes, but not. It's like they're nudging with it. So sometimes we notice I'm talking, I'm saying things, and then suddenly I get a confirmation tune, or I'm thinking. I actually got that when I hadn't worked so much with myself, and I had not so kind thought about myself, of like, I'm so stupid. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to program that into my brain, but I could actually get that sound like, okay, be nice to yourself. I just did a stupid thing and I learned something. Okay, that was a new way of expressing. This wasn't so smart, but I want to move on from there. So they used it to train. My guides have a sense of humor that fits mine because they just kind of laughed and showed me Pavlovian dogs. So they have been training me. Okay, I love this. And you see, I don't take offense, but it was easy for me to grasp it because I understood Pavlovian. That was science, and that was finding out a way how to the Pavlov. If you don't know, that was the how Pavlov. He must have been called just Pavlov. How he trained dogs to know that when he rang a bell, there would be food. So they knew that every time the bell rang, yay, food, and saliva would build. But then he stopped giving them food. And when the bell rang, the saliva would still come because the brain was programmed to starting the whole there's food is coming, so we need to prepare the body even though the food wasn't coming. So the whole how you can use sounds. Oh, I didn't even think about that. It was sounds. Yeah. So yeah, they nice one. That was sounds because I was thinking about another test where they trained rats to be afraid of something that would give them an electrical shock. And I'm just saying this because it's so interesting about DNA and how those rats, they got kids. And even though there wouldn't be an electrical shock anymore, those kids, rat kids, and maybe even their kids, like they could say generations after generation, they would be afraid of the thing that would usually give the electrical shock, even though it didn't do it anymore. So they created a fake danger, but it became a real danger in the DNA of these rats, even though they were separated and had no way of having the information like communicated. So it was in the DNA. So that was very cool. And if you're working with people who carry around a lot of anxiety and fear and there's no logical reason, it might actually come from their DNA and what their parents and their parents have been through. So that was a bit off topic, but still not so far. But back to tinnitus and training your warning. It's like an internal warning system, actually. But they are confirming right now that we do get some downloads. And if you're very sensitive, you might hear it as just like I'm starting to hear when I'm connecting, I hear like an electrical connection thing. Sometimes it's almost like back in the day when, I mean, 25 years ago or so, when we would have to dial onto the internet, and you would have that sound. Sorry if that was horrible to listen to, but I sometimes get that, and I feel like it's them creating it for me to know that there's a process going on, and the connection is being built. So it's super cool how they do that with sounds. So if you have not yet found out how to use all the clairs, maybe you're not supposed to be able to use them all, but it might be different than you think. So just have fun with it and play around. So I hope that Tina Love and Light got some information. If you want, I could tap in and see what else is usually coming to you, because I'm definitely sensing that the clairaudience is, your claircognizance is actually quite strong, and there is a message for you for sometimes my mouth gets activated, and that is one thing that you might be noticing too. And it's usually because I have started to be able to taste truth and taste if words, when they're coming out of my mouth, it's like, no, it doesn't taste right. So they're teaching me how to use it in a new way, and I feel like that would be for you too. So in the beginning, when that started, I would take it very literally. Like if I had, again, in mediumship, for instance, my taste buds are being activated, and I can taste food, and I feel like I can taste every ingredient, even what kind of spices was used. And that was very important for this person, and he was probably a chef in a finer restaurant, so they would use it really to be about taste buds and how it was used by this person. But I'm finding that it gets more and more activated now, because I'm learning new and different ways to taste information, to really combine it all and just have fun with it. So the question was, how do I interpret it? You can interpret it in so many ways, but the most important thing when we're playing with this is that we are sure that we can sense, and sense is important here, that we can sense if this is not right or if something is off. So practice that as well. And also, if you struggle with sensing, it might be, this doesn't taste right, or I'm hearing a ringing tune that I know means no, or that I know is a confirmation. You can combine however. It might be that you want to stamp your foot, and it feels as though, no. You know, sometimes we get so many different inputs, and whatever is logical and the first thing you get, you're probably right. And if not, you can practice knowing it just by doing the simple, this is blue. No. Okay, this is blue. I can breathe easily, before I couldn't. So find out what is your tell for what is right and what is wrong, and then you can use it for everything in life. Like, let's say you have a fruit and you're not sure you're allergic to it. So you connect to your body, you stand with the fruit and you say, I love this fruit. This fruit is amazing and it's so good for my body. And everything is going to be amazing when I eat this. And then you can kind of go into the future. And I know this is sounding far out there, but you can just train your body to show you. So it's like, okay, this is true. It's amazing. This fruit is good for me. And you can keep on rehearsing like that with different things until you become best friends with the intuition and your inner guidance system. Oh, I have so much going on in my body right now, so I'm really tapped in here. There's another question. Thank you, Andreassen, saying you're an incredible person. I'm impressed about your abilities, and you give me a possibility to know My no need. My mom, how my mom has it after she passed away. You're welcome, Anna. So I think I can say this without any confidentiality, but I was with Anna in a different situation and not mediumship, and she was curious, and I was talking to her, and then I was actually saying, I used to be afraid of ghosts. Now I'm not anymore because I have boundaries and I'm only open when I want to be open. So they cannot just come and give messages unless I sit down and I decide I'm doing it. And guess what? Her mom came through because we were talking about all of this and she wanted to. And it was like, okay, suddenly I'm seeing beautiful flowers and I'm getting a sensation of a girl. So, and I only got very few information, but I just looked at her and I said, would this be your mom by chance? And that is so amazing that even though I knew I had clear boundaries, when I am excited about things and I'm talking about things about all of this, they kind of know when they're welcome. But I have very strong boundaries. It's like, no, I could have said, but she knew I was not going to say no because for some reason, they just know things. And our job is to make clear boundaries and find out what we're going to do. So, and thank you, Anna, for tapping into the chat. So I got a chance to explain this because I'm still not afraid of ghosts and I still have boundaries and they do not come when I don't want to. But because I'm always curious and I so enjoy these tiny visits because it's fun and it's cool. And I love to be able to facilitate this amazing meeting. That's why it happens. For others, they do get these visits and they do not want them, but they are not saying, I don't want this. They're not like put up a sign and say, closed for business or build an armor or something. I have actually just told my guides, I don't want to ever see any spirits in my bedroom or in the bathroom. And I want to decide when I'm working. And they know if they want me to keep on doing this, those are the rules. So I've had no issues whatsoever with that. So practice that and trust that you have the power. Yeah. Okay. So I have been talking for almost an hour. And I wanted to have a topic for each of these weekly sessions. And I actually didn't have one today. I thought it was going to be disappointment, but I didn't want to talk about that because we get disappointed a lot. And I wanted to be more about curiosity. So instead of sitting, so let's say I want to test this and I'm not getting anything. Don't get disappointed. Get curious. I wonder why I'm not getting anything. You might be hungry. You might not be able to hear your body communicating with you because it's your stomach saying, feed me now. So there are so many things that can interrupt or interfere, or it could be your own blockages, like you're afraid of making a mistake, so you don't get anything because then you don't make a mistake, then you're just not getting anything. And okay, so don't, I don't want to use the word don't. I would like to say, try to, always think of this as practice, because no one is ever done learning about these things. So no one is perfect. No one is there. No one is done. I don't have to learn anything anymore because I'm there and I know everything there is to know. They're actually showing me you have to be on top level before you get to that. And we, us watching this, are not even close to that. Okay. I want to add, that might have been my interpretation, because I was thinking, yes, if I'm going to get to top level, who am I? And that's so funny because that was from a client. I noticed this client kept saying, who am I to? So that stuck with me because that is something I've been working with and thought I had cured. but it stuck with me. So be careful not to pick up stuff from other people that your body recognizes, even though you've dealt with it. Okay, interesting. So, but I could practice this. I could think, I want to know what's going on with the tinnitus and the sounds. And if I don't find out, if I don't get a clear confirmation, because I actually got two different things. So when I was trying with the blue one and saying, this is red, I got this ee. And then when I did it with the red one and said, this is blue, it was it was like the pressure, and both of them very annoying. And definitely, okay, so my guides are telling me now, the reason why I got two different ones is because that's what some people might experience. But you will know for sure that when it's unpleasant, it's either a warning or a no. That's interesting. Okay, so go for unpleasant. Yeah, if you want to have if something is negative, it feels negative. Yeah, but if I didn't get anything, if I would sit here and say, this is orange and blue and yellow and all kinds of colors and nothing is changing, I would not think, I suck at this. I would think, I need to do this when I'm not tired or when I don't have expectations. So I'm just going to go for a walk, or I'm going to eat, or I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm going to try again until I get it right. Because, yeah, I know it's easy for me to say, but I know I'm going to get it right if it's meant to be. And maybe I'm trying so hard to tap into the tinnitus sounds that I'm not sensing I'm getting goosebumps or chills, or my feet are burning when I'm getting a no. So that's also a warning. You might think, oh, Michelle talked to that Tina Love and Light about tinnitus. I have tinnitus. This is for me too. It might be, but we're all different. We all have different abilities. So do yourself a favor and say, that didn't work. So if I'm not focusing on the sounds and I'm testing this, what am I then getting? You might get an image. It might actually be like a no access sign. It might be that you're seeing a sun because it's a yes. There are so many ways we can get information, and we might be looking for that one thing. And if you say, I want you to always show me the color green when it's yes, and always red when it's no, and that's the only thing I'll take. Problem is, I have come to realize, because I had a lot of different spirit guides helping me, and it's like a big collective, I thought they could tap into the same information and know me, but I have found out that they communicate differently. And that's why sometimes it's just flowing, and it's an energy I know and they know me, but sometimes it's an energy I don't really know. So they are not used to communicating with me. They don't know all the things that I have been training with other guides. They're showing me, it's as if they're getting a manual. So they will know a lot of things. They got a lot of information, and they're saying, this is for your information, Michelle, because for us, it's just like this, and then we get it. But some of it will not be the same because they might have a different frequency, and it's not possible for them to communicate in the same way. That's interesting, new for me. And that's why curiosity, I'm super good. That's my superpower, curiosity. And I want to know, and I want to not put myself down if I make mistakes or if I struggle with something. I'm just like, okay, that didn't work. What can I make work, or how can I make this work? And then have fun with it. Yeah. And it's a good thing that I am like that, because now I'm sitting here thinking, what did I want to say, and have I said it? Have I started answering a question and got off topic so I didn't finish answering? But I don't think so. So I'm just going to tap into, do I have to say more about this? I could, but I don't need to, because I have given a lot of information and it's super helpful for a lot of people, and it will be in the future too. And I'm also laughing and saying, yeah, but people are going to be so confused with all the topic changing, And they're just saying, have faith in people and the amazing popcorn brains that are going to find you, because it's going to be a relief for people to see how well I can do some things, even though for the untrained eye, it might be looking as though I'm just bouncing all over and not staying on track. Yeah, so I don't mind if I can be an inspiration for you, and you're free to laugh and have fun, hopefully with me and not because of me. Yeah, that was more or less the same, but there are no further questions. But if you do have questions, and this is live, but if something comes up and you're watching it later, you can still comment, because I do watch the comments. Well, I might say this is May the 4th be with you. It's May 4th, 2026. And I don't know, hopefully soon I will have a ton of followers and a billion, no, not a billion, that'll be too many. I'm just going to send out the amount of comments and questions that I'm able to keep up with, and an amazing community who is gonna contribute with their help and their replies, and it's gonna just roll. But for now, I am reading it all and I'm commenting and doing my best to help you. So feel free at any time to ask your questions, and I will see what might come when I'm answering it, or I'll put it in another video to make sure that it gets answered. Yeah, so since there are no further questions now, I'm going to do a tiny healing, because that is one of the things I've really been trained in doing. And the healing is usually based on opening up. And a lot of times the opening up to your next level abilities or powers or gifts, vision, sights, whatever it is you hope to be able to do or get access to. Usually it requires us releasing some old crap in the system, well, even from DNA. So they're actually showing me DNA strings now. So I think we're gonna be working on our gene codes in a way where we don't have to be dragged down by what we have inherited in terms of energy and beliefs. That would be so amazing. Right now, I'm talking slowly because my own system is working against this information, because I have been training my body so much. So I feel something in me is not ready to believe this. And I'm healing that as I'm talking, because I want to take this in. So that's a process that I have ongoing. So that's how you can train. And I'm doing this because it's a gut feeling. I feel in my gut. So I am releasing it. I'm tasting it like if I were able to believe that I could facilitate a healing of people's DNA. It sounds so insane, right? Would I be okay with that? And the funny thing is, I've just had, well, actually 2 or 3 of my mentoring students, I have been working a bit with this, that we sometimes have a hard time believing what we're going to be able to do, but we don't have to think of ourselves as being the professional or the executor or the responsible. So I'm going to facilitate it. And I know I can do a good job at facilitating without blocking it, but I want to have the benefits too. I want to have my DNA fixed. So what is going on right now, I'm having like a telepathic conversation with my subconscious and my guides, where I'm trying to solve, am I ready to believe that an energy healing like this could just fix things that I'm not even aware of, that I don't know what is? And the fact that I'm not aware of what it is makes it easier, because then I cannot really test it. And that means I have no way of saying it didn't work. I knew, that thing that we sometimes do. I just got a comment to include a person in my healing. Yes, I will do that, but not, I can always send healing thoughts for other people. But if you want to have healing for another person, I'm being shown now that I can send it to you, and you imagine that you take in, because sometimes we have to take in some things ourselves, and you send it forward to the person, not pressuring, but just like you would send a prayer. So, dear whoever you believe, help this person, however it would be beneficial for them. You are free to do that. So, because I always struggle with boundaries for other people, because I know I just set the boundaries. It's like, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to do that. That is not my shite. And I sometimes forget that other people don't do that. So it is possible for people to, boom, go straight into their energy if they haven't set those boundaries. So I don't want to do that. Unless a person has agreed to do it, I can talk to their higher self and send it to their higher self. And I'm doing that right now. So my higher self, I'm sending it out to communicate with this person's higher self and see what they're able to take in. But I always encourage people to, I don't know why I say always, because that's actually the first time they showed me that I can help people take in a healing, and then they're showing me as though it goes in the heart and somehow around it. So you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're absorbing some of the healing and sending it out in love. And it's not gonna, oh, this is so awesome. So it's not gonna be less because you've absorbed some of it. It's gonna be infused with your love. So because these people who want healing for other people also have so much to give, but they may not have learned how to do healing. So I can help them by setting it in motion, so the energy is rolling around, and through your heart and your good intentions, that healing is kind of going their way, but infused with your love and care and good intentions, without pressure, because that's what I build into it. I don't pressure anyone to feel better, because some people thrive in misery, and some people have lessons to learn, and some people are just not ready yet. Some people just need, just like I need to think about, am I ready to be healed in DNA? Like, am I ready to let go? Oh, I know why. I worry that if my DNA is healed through generations, am I losing a link to my ancestors? Because I'm grieving that right now. I'm thinking about my grandma. Am I going to lose a link to her and everything they experienced? Everyone who's no longer here on earth in physical form, am I going to lose a sensation of no longer having their history be part of my history? But no, that's not what's going to happen. They're saying they're only going to remove the emotional boundaries that is being caused by that. So it's as though we've inherited history. We have, for some reason, we have some knowledge about what they have gone through, even though it's not conscious. But we are able to feel it in our nervous system, and it gets triggered. So for me, it has been airplanes lately. I don't know why it come up. I've not been in war. And for some reason, sometimes when I hear airplanes and they're low, and I know a lot of things have triggered this, but I feel like I am recalling being in war. I recall are they going to drop something again? And that is definitely not mine. So yeah, I'm ready to let go. So if you are, and this is the main kicker when it comes to healing, if you are working as a healer and you can get people to open up and say, I am ready to receive what I would benefit from, what would be good for my life mission, my purpose, my path, or my highest intention and good. So find the words that work for you. For me, I always say, I invite in love and light and in good intentions for the highest and best, and in the amount they're ready to take in now. And then I work on not wanting to know what I'm doing. I'm not putting intention on, please heal them from this or please do that. I simply open up to be a channel, and then I let the experts, and I'm pointing at the guides, at the healers, at I call my collective Odeon. Correction, they call themselves Odeon. So now I am learning how to call them that, because I just learned, was it last week? I think it was last week I learned that that's their name. Yeah. Anyways, we're doing the healing now. And while I've been talking, they've been preparing, because they know I talk a lot. And all you got to do, actually, they have actually healed some people. So some of you might even have felt it. But if you thought, yeah, that sounds cool, I want to have my DNA healed, they were able to work on you while I was talking and getting myself ready and finding out, am I ready to receive this? So now that I know I'm ready, and this might sound strange or weird to a lot of you, because how can she have healed already when she's just sitting there talking? I don't heal, I facilitate, because they cannot. The healers, the ascended masters, the guides, they cannot do it themselves without going through interesting, a material grounded energy. So they need, I'm like, what do you call the thing that you're using for a lightning, so that it is, so the grounding thing, they need, for things to be able to really go through, in this setting. You can do it yourself. You can just open up and ask for the healing. But if you're not asking, you need someone like me to act as this lightning. Oh, in Danish, it's lynafleder. So because I need to make, there's the energy in it. I don't know why they're showing that, because that would usually be to make sure that if the lightning strikes, it doesn't break anything. Oh, okay. So it's because the energy is so super intense, and it's kind of being transmuted through me, so that it'll work on the molecular level of human beings. Interesting. Huh. Okay. So, yeah. It is Daniela asking, is in the comments about the person who wanted the healing, and I had guessed as much. So no worries. But I suppose you heard the part where you just, no expectations, you just say, I'm ready to take it in. And I send some of it on with all my love, and in the hopes of helping and supporting the best way I can, and this can. That is a cool way of healing. I want to teach people how to do that. Correction, we want to teach people how to do that. But simply, a lot of you don't need any instructions in this. But this is going to be it's going to be snip, snap, and it's done healing. They're showing us, though, they're simply going in, and they're not cutting your DNA, but they're cutting those emotional bonds and the triggers, mainly the triggers, so that you don't get triggered in situations that are not dangerous or that are not relevant in the life you live today and these times. Okay. So I'm calming down now for my sake, so they can work on my DNA as well. Because I'm a bit reluctant still. It's so fun I feel as though my back is tensing up, as though I'm kind of, how is this going to be like? I don't mind giving you all everything. They're working through me, and I'm like a generator, a channel, a facilitator. I don't know why I'm saying facilitator. It annoys me. A facilitator. Oh my God, this is so nice. So if you can feel the energy now, I mean, some of you might need to feel as though it's coming through the screen, but it's actually, you know how I have this tube, I'm connected to Earth and I'm connected up. It's just going straight through me. Oh, wow. I really feel in my chest as though something like my heart just bounced, as though it's no longer chained to things that are not mine. That was a fun feeling. Okay. So here is some information for you if you're a healer. If you yourself struggle with something that a person wish healing for, you can receive the healing yourself. And if you do that, the healing on the patient is going to be better because it doesn't have to be filtered through your own blockage. And now I'm saying to them, that's just stupid. You should be like super powerful. Why can't you just work around that? And it's because the healers out there, including me, they don't want to go through, they don't want to go around it, because it's important that I myself work with all the blockages, all the issues, so that I can better be not a channel for light, there's a transmitter of energy and light. So if they're always just allowing you to do healing like that, then there's no reason for you to work on evolving and clearing your tube. Okay, so it's because I see it as a tube I have. So that needs to be cleared so the energy can run freely through it. So it's actually a present for you that they're going to send clients that struggle with some of the things that you might need to work on yourself, so that it will be obvious to you, and so that you get nudged to work on it. Cool. Ooh, something happened. That was a release. Nice. So I have been going for an hour and 17 minutes now. So I'm being told that this healing, even though it was just a snip, oh, that's so beautiful. So if you wanna do the thing where you take it in to send it to someone you love, especially because this was a generational, they're working ancestral lines, DNA, and all of that. If it's down in your family tree that you're working, it's going to be so much more effective because it's running through you first. So if once you have it fixed, then it's actually more or less fixed by them. And then it's primarily the links they have to you that they can it's not as though you're snipping the connection, but all the blockages and the triggers of old things, they can work on that. That's nice. So now I'm just sending this through my heart and to my kids, because God knows I must have really put some strain on them with my, let's do this, let's do that. No, not this. I didn't mean it like that. Yeah. Poor kids. I love them, and I can almost confidently say they love me too. But I want to bet a lot that they are super tired of me every now and then. As should be, right? That's my job as a parent. Okay. So the healing on the snip, the DNA, the triggers. So they're saying we are only able to do as much as is being allowed and as is beneficial. For some of you, you still need to carry around some of the triggers, but no one will not have had, no one, I don't like the no one. in general. No one will be without benefit from this, but there are some people who have worked so much that they cannot release more until they have taken on the lessons, because some of us are just thick-headed, and that's where we need to learn how to put ourselves in the background and be open to magic. And if magic is a trigger for you, then be open to energy, be open to possibilities, be open to transformation. Yeah. So, as I was saying, they're done with the generational thing, but they're still sending you healing, because sometimes it can be, even if you have released stuff, they're wrapping you in care, and it's as though your DNA is it's as if it's getting an ointment or something, just to so it could be a shock to the system, and they're working to prevent that. So you're being taken care of, and you might have a sensation of something happening for the next couple of days, and just enjoy it, because it's really for your higher and best and love and that. I keep looking at the clock, and I'm just amazed that people are still here while I keep talking, but I hope you're enjoying the energy. And yeah, I feel like that's it for today. Oh, they're just coming through and saying, we're so proud of you all. Like, anyone who's been here and who's going to come because of what you hope to get here, they're so proud of you being open and to be actually working on your progress, and to be working on learning more and expanding yourself and your energy, and what you're able to believe right now, that you're not scared of allowing new perspectives to maybe change or tweak what you see as the truth today, especially about yourself, because you're able to do so much more and be so much more, and not feel unworthy, because wanting to be more is not a bad thing, because be more can be more loving, be more kind, be more happy, be more confident. And again, if confident was a trigger, it doesn't have to be bad, because you need confidence to be able to, like me, sit in front of a camera and say stupid things and not have a script, and knowing it's going to be fine. I wanted to make a video, and it's a video. No matter what I'm saying, it's still going to be a video, and I have something that's going to be uploaded, and people already came by. So I didn't sit here all alone, and I got some questions, and I got some time. Be more you, the you that you know is in there and waiting to get out, and be more brave, be more courageous, because you have it all in you. You can be. No, they don't want me to finish. They want me to say you are amazing already. You just need to be able to see it yourself, and that is easier done if you actually act the braveness, act the confidence, act all of that, because it is in you, and they're there for you. So yeah, that was it. So I'm so grateful that you were here. Yeah, and the comment here was, not stupid things, wise, but random things. Yeah, that's true. Random things is kind of what I'm good at, but it's all because I want to give you in fact, everything I know, everything I've learned, and I cannot give it all at once. Oh, before I end this, back to the very first question about the tinnitus and the sounds, and if you're able to interpret them. So, talking about the downloads and talking about random things, expert here. I was informed recently that when we're working in this energy field, when we get information, that's actually like a data package. It's like a data package. So let's say I hear ringing, I get a confirmation, and it's regarding something. That confirmation may actually contain a whole lot of information that suddenly I would just know. So let's say I hold this. No, I want to go with the apple. So I'm holding the apple and I'm saying, this apple is going to be super healthy for me to eat. And I wait and I get a confirmation, but I don't just get the yes, I get, oh, if I eat this many at that time of the day, and especially in a certain situation, if I am tired or I'm going to get so much more information. And that is actually just like that tune we're getting. If those downloads, super interesting. Yeah. So they're confirmed, because I was just thinking, this doesn't have anything with tinnitus to. Yeah, because they can access it through these vibrations, and some of us can simply hear them. So it's not because we necessarily, some people might actually be able to understand those tunes, but very few of us. Just like it would be like if you're whistling in a dog whistle, the dog is not hearing, hey dog, come here, it's time for dinner. It would just hear there's a sound, and I know what it means because I've been trained to it. So we can hear the sound, but that's it. But they can send when that it's open, and we can get access to it, that it's just, they can send small data packages with the confirmation, where we just get so much more information. And it's not as such in the sound, but it's delivered, and we have to unpack it in our mind or wherever it is. So now you know that. So if you've been wondering, I was with a client and I was giving a reading, and but now I feel as though, oh, I should have told her that and that and that, and it didn't come up during the reading. No, you weren't done unpacking it. So you're actually still the information. It's not because you're still connected. Well, you might be. So check that first. But the data package just had so much information that you weren't able to retrieve back then. So that's something quite new that more and more people can learn how to do, so that we don't need, we simply just need like a tiny blip of information, and then we can unpack an entire story, and it's going to be so much easier. So if you were wondering, why do I feel like I'm still getting information about the client that I had an hour or two ago? It's because it was just a big pack of information, or you didn't, or your subconscious knew that there was something more that you didn't get to. And sometimes you might actually, hey, just wanted to add on that it is super important that you do this as well. So think of it like that. So yeah, okay. So I wanted to say thank you for now, but I can go on forever. And I have another question. So the healing has been done, but Tina Love and Light says, I have another question if I can, if there's time. And before that, she said, thank you for your answers. I'll try the exercise. And Tina Love and Light was the one who asked about the tinnitus. So she actually asks now, I so very much want to develop my clairvoyance. I don't experience pictures when I tap in. I'm curious as to why this clair is not as open to me, and what I can do to open up for that part. Yeah, so this is super interesting because, as I said, I thought we were going to talk about disappointment today as the topic, but as I started talking, it turned out we're just going to talk about clairs, because that's where people get disappointed, because they think it's going to be, and that's back to last week's topic, that was expectations. We expect it to be in a certain way, and if it's not, we think it's wrong or we get disappointed. But sometimes we're just not meant to have it in a certain way. And when we're looking for that certain way, we're missing all the other ways we're getting it. So let's say, back to the test. If I think I want an apple because an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and I'm so disappointed because I couldn't get any apples, and I'm sitting and I'm surrounded by oranges and berries and all kinds of amazing healthy things, but I'm looking for the apple and it's not there, so I'm not getting what I need. You see, that was very exaggerated, but it's the same with the clairs. So I'm just going to tap in, and feel free to stay around. I won't be that long because I'm getting tired, and yeah, I don't know. It's actually more that I want to not keep on doing this forever and ever and try to get to point. So I'm going to tap into Trine now and see, no, not Trine, Tina, Love and Light, to see why she is struggling with her clairvoyance, and if she can do it. So, and for those of you who might not have been here since I started and who doesn't know what I do, but I'm actually now, and this is a tip for a lot of you, and I got this from Judy Rasmussen. I took a clairvoyant medium healer education with her, and I think she deserves credit for this because this is such a good tip. She taught me that when I connect, I mean, some people, they send out like a tube from their solar plexus, and others do something else. There's so many ways to connect, but what really works for me and for a lot of the people I've been helping is I imagine I have wings. So I'm putting out wings of energy, and I'm just looking here at the small profile picture and the username of Tina Love and Light. And I imagine that I'm wrapping that, just the picture and her name, because my guide knows I'm connecting to her, to that person, to that energy. Oh, and to her team, actually, of guides. And now I'm in her energy, and I can sense her and I can feel her. And the clairvoyance, I do get some images. They're showing me as though I'm watching a movie without sound. So it's as though you are able to get some things through, but it's not super clear, and it's hard to decipher them. And sometimes it feels like you're just getting very pixelated. So this is how they show me that it's hard for you to hang on to them. It could be just tiny blip, 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 those bleeps. And why is that? It's there's actually something about expectations here as well, because they're showing me how I struggle in the beginning, because I wanted to be a big movie, like HD pictures, and me being able to see everything, and it would just be as though someone had with a pencil drawn like the silhouette of a horse on dark background, and I would see it behind my closed eyes, and that would be it. And I would think, no, I'm just making this up. And then the more I trusted it and started talking about it, just suddenly I see a lot of things. Just as for now, I'm saying they're showing me like I can see an old movie, but I'm actually not really seeing it. I'm getting like small, like a sensation of a movie here, but I'm not able to really know what it's about. I just maybe see some black and white blurry images, like it's moving, but I'm not really getting it. But I'm not, so I'm looking that way, and it's as though it's being played as a memory or something. That's so when you're saying clairvoyance, so clear seeing things, the vision, you might expect it to be the movie, but for me it's I feel like I'm having trouble speaking, even though I'm talking. It's just a sensation I'm getting. So I know, okay, so it's not coming through. It's being distorted, and they're using all my senses. So I do see a lot of things, but sometimes I see just a tiny, tiny things. I just saw like 3 pixels. Okay, so we're talking, it's pixelated, it's not clear. And for you, how do you get, because you do, I feel like you aren't really getting, and notice I say, I feel like, and that's because I'm looking, where is the issue? And I don't feel the issue. So it's because it's wrapped in all the other things. Okay, so imagine the data package I was talking about, that sometimes we get a complete data package that we have to unwrap. And they're showing me that sometimes it's so much easier if you detect a sensation. So I've been talking a lot about mediumship. So I want to talk about a psychic reading now. And I also talked about healing. So imagine you're doing a psychic reading and you're tapped into a client. And so what I do is I often just ask to know what's the biggest issue they have. How can I best help them? What kind of blockages do they have? So I always set intention. I ask my guides, but I also myself, like I do the wing thing. I tap in and then I just have access. But I'm really looking as both a sentiment, like I use their spine actually. So is there something blocking that? So it's as though I'm sensing, okay, there's something. Where are we at? And then I use the spine as a timeline. So if it's below the navel area, we're in the childhood, and don't think about chakras here. Just think about that is what I work with because it's easy for me. Timeline, chronological. You have like a spine. And it's so easy for me to do that. Some people have like folders. So they have the person's life and they're just going through experiences. But for me, that thing, because I'm also a healer, it's just easy for me. Oh, we have some blockages here. It's linked to. And then based on the number of discs, no, whatever. I can tell when it was, if it was, you were around 4, you were around 7, you were around 12. And a lot of those years are actually repeating in clients' lives. So apparently we have some years linked to major events. But if you get that sensation, so back to topic, if you unwrap it, so I am feeling, for me, it's I have to keep the energy flowing. So I start talking when I have a client because I'm good at talking. So, and even if you don't consider yourself talkative, it raises your frequency because when you're talking about it, you're feeling into it. And I mean, dive in. So I feel, I'm just going to come up with some example. Let's say I don't know yet. I have a client and I'm just starting. And now I'm just pretending. So I'm saying, I am feeling some sadness and I feel it very much in my stomach. And it almost makes me want to not go to work. And now I'm starting. I'm in the energy, and the work I said could be I actually saw a desk that I used to sit at when I was at work. And that's how I know that. So they can just send, boop, you started with the emotions and now you're unpacking it. So now we can send you, it's like a gift. They are sending you a box. And once you start unwrapping it, just go with it. And a lot of people I've noticed, they don't know that they have seen things. So one example, I did a mentoring last week and she didn't see things either. So I asked her if she needed me to do a reading or show her how I worked, because I knew she'd been at one of my lives. So I said, is that enough? And she would say as well, I don't really see things, but she said, yeah, no, I'm good, because I know that when you were talking on the video and you were communicating with your guides, I saw the white light above your shoulders. And I was like, you see a white light above my shoulder? That's so interesting. I don't see anything like that, but we do, but we just don't notice it. So it is so amazing how we get so much that because, well, a white light that I'm not really seeing anything because maybe you're not seeing it with your eyes. So let's say you're looking at a person and nothing changes in the image, but it's as though you see a white light and you just know it's over that shoulder. So your brain is connecting them. Just like if I draw, let's just, I may draw, now the pen is not working because that's how it has to be. So let's say I just draw this. It's not finished, but you know it's a heart. The brain just goes in, fill in the blanks. That's a heart. Something is missing, but it's a heart. And that's how the brain works. It puts things together, and sometimes we don't notice. That's how it works. And that's amazing. But we have another sense, or maybe more. Yeah, they're actually saying, Michelle, the sixth sense. There are so many more in play here that you just don't have a word for or a concept for yet. So, and they're showing me. So this is so cool. I see energy as though energy is going out from my body, but I also feel as though I'm connected to, I want to say everything, but not really. It's as though there's I'm linked to something, and that is not something that we really have a concept for yet because it's evolving and expanding. Cool. But that's just, I'm gonna say it's gonna be easy once you think of it as a gift you're unwrapping. So I am feeling this, and then you're just gonna get now I have a knowing. Now I have like, and you don't. So let's say I hear a church tower. I might not actually feel as though I'm hearing ding, 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 but for some reason, that sound, as though it had been played, the message of the church tower, the bell, is in me, and it's been linked into that. So I cannot explain it more than it's in that package. It's all in there. And if you're not trying to have it be like, no, I don't hear ding, 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 but I am really sure that there was just a church tower bell ringing to inform me that this person used to go to church, and the ringing, you could start just unwrapping it. And if you're saying, no, I'm making this up because I didn't hear it, I feel like I did, but hearing is not feeling. So be more open to this not being the way you're used to talking about senses. Yeah, I can hear things, but I can also close my eyes. And I don't even have to close my eyes. Right now, I can have like a song playing and the tinnitus, and I can also hear bongo drums. Like I can put all those sounds in my imagination, and no, I'm not hearing them, but they're still playing, So have fun experimenting and no expectations. And be more curious. Yeah. So I hope you can try that, Tina, but really it is just about unpacking and being curious and not thinking it has to be like this. Oh, now I would like to, how did it look like? Let's say that, okay, I'm with this client, I'm packing, I feel like I don't want to go to work. So for you, it might be the sound of a typewriter, tick, 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 ding, and not maybe as if it's outside, but you just had a vision of you as a kid where you tried one of those with the noise or whatever, if you're old enough to remember how it was to actually ding, 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 ding. But just be okay with it being however it may be, and don't think of it as being a sound in the ear or a smell in the nose. It's going to be if you think now, how does an orange smell, or how does your preferred perfume smell, you will be able to, oh yeah, even though it's not there, you can create it, and then it's gone. It's just boom, boom, like that. And then you link it all. You put it together into a message. It could be a taste. That's weird. Now I know this person loved, they must have really loved cherries, because I keep getting it. And there's saliva and everything because I want to have cherries, or whatever it is. They can use your entire energy system, your senses, and even senses how you didn't know you were using them. So the clairvoyance, the clear seeing, you already have it, but you're just not seeing the full picture is what I'm getting. And I know they're not always being helpful when they make fun like that, but the full picture is a combination of everything. So it's a puzzle. And if you hate puzzles, then it's not a puzzle, then it is it's a dish, your favorite dish. Like you're a cook, you're a chef, and you have to put in all the ingredients. Like all the ingredients might have something on their own, but put together, you get the dish and it's recognizable and it's good. So you don't want to sit and eat an onion, but when it's in together with all the other things, you get something that is recognizable, and that the person who is being served will love it, maybe that worked. Food, a puzzle, a bouquet of flowers. Yeah, there are many ways to think about this, and there's no wrong way except the one where you structure yourself so much that you actually made a prison where you are not able to move. So be careful with too much structure, too many rules, because you might miss out on the things that are outside of the structure that you didn't even know you were able to do yet. And again, I'm not saying structure is bad. Structure is very healthy, but I don't like that word. And it's so funny, I have to say, I don't like that word, but try to have some sense of freedom and the ability to move in your belief system and in what you know to be true about you and your abilities now, and take in the possibility that you can do so much more than what you were able to do just a minute ago. Yeah. Hi. So Freya DK says hi. Welcome. I was actually gonna close down, but you just came in. So if you have a question about your spiritual personal development, you can give it a go now, because I feel as though I have answered. Tina Love and Light. Oh, she just said, Tina Love and Light said, thank you. It's nice to know I already have it. And it's about accepting the now and enjoying opening the gift step by step without limiting myself. Yeah. Ooh, they're showing me, Tina, that you're actually pretty good at not limiting yourself, because I see you dancing or doing something like finding freedom. You have been able to find freedom in other areas of your life. Just put it over here. Like take elements that you're good at in one part of your life and see how you can incorporate in another. So I hope that makes sense. I also see you on a beach. Yeah, you are a curious soul. So use it in developing here as well. And have fun with it. Yeah, you're good at having fun. I can sense that. As long as you are kind to yourself and say no disappointment allowed here. Like put up the no access sign for disappointment and just be open to try again, and maybe in another way. Put on another tune and dance to that. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so I have one more question. And again, I totally get it if people are getting tired, because here live, I'm in Denmark and it's after 9 in the evening and I've been talking for an hour and 50 minutes. And even I'm getting tired, but that's because I'm also in the energy, and I can tell I'm still a channel for the healing. So there's a lot of going through me. But I want to answer this one last question. So that is Freya. It's Fregia DK, but I'm guessing Freya. How would you recommend changing energy immediately? Breathing. Like, I have trained it. So, and it's probably annoying for people who cannot do this, but practice. But if I notice myself, I actually experienced it not so long ago. I had to be with a person who had disappointed me, and I could sense that I still carried around some of that, but I didn't want it to affect me or the situation I was in. So I felt it and I thought, nah, this doesn't feel nice. I don't want that. So I just decided. I decided I don't want this. What do I want instead? I want to enjoy whatever I can get out of the situation now, and let go. So I breathe in, and I just it's a switch. Yeah. But I have had the blessing of not having a 9 to 5 job or 8 to 16 or whatever for a long time now. So I've been really delving into what am I feeling, what's happening, talking to my guides. And I know a lot of you don't have the benefit of that. So if you struggle with energy, and of course you do, because you wouldn't ask that, how do you change energy immediately? But you also know it's possible. And that is step one. You have to know that it's possible and you have to believe it, because it is really about the decision. And I cannot say, I want to be angry now, because I kind of put it out of my system. I mean, if someone comes and they deliberately hurt me, yeah, I would probably be angry, but more sad. But I could provoke it. But I have just trained my system to, every time something like that comes up, yeah, I actually do get angry when I stub my toe, or if I'm running late and I bump into something and it hurts. But it's more the hurt that is making me angry, because then I don't cry, then I can yell. That's a good way to release energy. It's like, it's out of my system and I can move on. Not that that's how to deal with hurt and sadness, but sometimes it's the easy, quick solution, but not always. Sometimes we have to deal with the sadness. Yeah, and Freya already said, thanks for you, love and light for all. You're welcome. So I'm guessing that worked for her, but if it doesn't work for you, it's a decision and it's a switch. So I'm just going to ask my guides for a quick fix for people who are not used to being able to do quick fixes, or who just haven't learned it yet. Some of you might need to say it out loud. So let's say I can get, let's just call it lazy. It's more that I have so many things I want to do and I get overwhelmed, and then I berate myself for being lazy, because I'm not just doing it because it should be easy, but I get overwhelmed and I notice, and I did it to myself, I caused this. I allowed myself to feel this. I did that to my energy, and I have learned how to notice, my energy's down. Okay, I'm just acknowledging, this doesn't feel nice. I don't want that. And if you're not a person who's good at just, okay, I'm working on this, I'm building up, I'm pulling in light. I actually do the whole where I imagine that every breath in, I'm bringing in love and light. On the out breath, it's just a big bad cloud of darkness and despair and whatever is holding me down, but I'm releasing it. For some, it's better to imagine they're putting it in a big, beautiful balloon and they're sending it off and saying, ciao, and they're enjoying the lightness in their body. But sometimes it can feel so heavy that you're not going to be able to just I want to be happy. Yay. Because life, and sometimes you might be in a situation where things are not going to change. You might be in a situation where you don't have money to pay rent or food, or you might actually be in a war zone or something else. And I'm not saying, but you did that, you did the sadness. That is not at all what I'm saying. I am saying it is possible to find the light and the hope and the high vibration, because you might not be able to change the situation, but you can change your vibration, your frequency, that allows you access. Because what I have been shown very clearly lately is that when we're down in the frequency and in the vibration, it's so hard for us to hear the communication. They are still there, our guide, that's our guides. They're still there, but you might not be able to hear them. You might not even be able to reach out because you've put your energy down. And I know you have not done it deliberately. It might be circumstances, but sometimes it is deliberately, just like I can do to myself. Why haven't I yet made, just this video? I haven't done anything to make people aware. Hey, I'm doing lives. It's just like, okay, I'm going live now. Hey, everyone on Facebook. I'm not tagging anyone. I'm just saying, if you want it, it's there. Because I just didn't want to bother with algorithm and all of that. And I can come up with a lot of excuses. And I could put myself down and down and down. But you know what? I decided that is too hard for me to struggle with right now, because I have a billion things I want to do. So right now I'm just going to have a party. I'm going to have the best time of my life here and build up a good energy, because I feel good about it. So the main thing is, what do you feel good about? If you want to change your energy, if you find out this doesn't feel nice, I don't want to be in this, what do I feel good about? And then you bring it into your it's there. I'm getting a sensation of like a power bank, a memory bank in your energy field of how it feels to be happy, to be lucky, to be hopeful. And you can access that. And just like if you watch this whole thing, thank you so much, kudos to you. But I was talking about sound healing and how the frequency, the vibration of like different organs and chakras, how you can use a tune to align and balance things. And it's the same thing you can do when you decide, oh, that emotion, I know how that is. So it's as if it's a tuning fork, bing, and you're starting that, and it's going to spread out in your energy system. And you can then work on the whole grounding and connecting and sending it out. And again, no, you may not be somewhere else, but your energy is in a better place. And it's going to feel as though things around you have changed as well, because you can be from a place of calmness, of grounded love and care, and you can feel recharged. And it actually doesn't take long to learn, but it has to become a habit for it to be like a switch. And habit doesn't mean you have to do it every day for this many days and so many times. Some of you, if you do it 3 days in a row, it's going to be a part of your system. And some of you might need more, because it also depends on what you have heard and what you subconsciously believe to be true. And some of you are just going to say, yeah, I get that. I haven't tried it before, but you say it's just like switching. I'm just going to do that. Let's try. Oh, my back hurts and I'm so annoyed. And I was in an argument and I'm actually not in a good mood, but, and then boom, you're there. It's energy. It's manifestation. It's intuition. And it's you creating your reality. And a lot of it is actually based on emotion and the energy around that emotion. So how do you want to feel? Decide, and then find it in you. maybe find a happy place. For some, in a meditation, for me, there's a beach on Crete. I am in there. I just have to sit down, close my eyes. I can hear the waves. I can feel the sun. It's rising, and the weather is amazing. And this is from real life situation I experienced at one time when I was suffering from depression, and I was there alone. And the universe, it was just like I was being hugged everywhere, from the waves, from the sun, from the air. And I just go there, and I'm just my whole nervous system just resets, and I feel amazing. And right now it's as if I'm on holiday, and I'm so lucky. So this is learnable, it's doable, and depending on where you are, you can just do it tomorrow like that, or maybe next week. And I'm not going to say more because I don't want to set other beliefs in. So maybe a week shouldn't require more. So who are you? Are you going to be the one who, I know I can do that. I remember, whoa, there was that one time when I was almost ecstatic, when I just had that experience and everything was awesome. I want to be there now. Boom, you're there. So I might sometimes seem a bit hyper and too much, but I actually do it deliberately a lot of times because I love to feel good. I love to talk about things that excite me. I love to think about those things, and I just feel it. Right? And I don't care if people think that you should act your age, or you should sound more intelligent, or you know what? That's your belief system, not mine. Mine is to be happy and have fun and try to get the best out of every day, because you don't know how many you're going to have on this planet, on this earth, in this human body. So make the most of it. Why not? I mean, why not? Yeah, so I hope that can inspire some of you to try to not be more like me, but be more like you when you allow yourself to have fun and be happy, even in hard times, because it's so much easier to get through them if you're not letting the energy pull you down, but you're raising your energy, and you're an inspiration to the people around you, to the situation, and also to what you're going to be able to create to pull yourself quicker out of it. Yeah. I still have 5 viewers, 2 hours and almost 2 minutes in here. Yay. Thank you. So I also got Heather Houston. Thank you. And hearts. I like hearts. Hearts to you all. Hearts. This was such a pleasure. And now I am tired. Oh, Tina Love and Light came back. Thanks for this live today. It was a pleasure. Love to everyone. And Freya DK again. Thank you. And hearts. So I love all these hearts. Keep sending hearts. Send hearts to everyone. Love to all of you. And I am back next Monday, same time. And this video will be available as well. So if you want to have the healing again, it's not necessary. But if you tuned out, or if you want to be inspired, because all of you can do this, where you this new thing that I didn't know was possible, how you can teach people to take in a healing, let it be I already forgot the word again. I'm absorbing. Let it absorb in the heart, and then you kind of diffuse it with your own love, and you push it out to people you love. So you're kind of also channeling this. So it comes through me, through the screen, through you, and moving on. And it doesn't get any weaker from that. It gets stronger because you're feeling in love and good intentions and emotions. And imagine, oh wow, could you imagine this just floating around everyone like rings in the water? It's actually the same flow of love that is running through a lot of people's hearts. That would be so amazing. That would be a good way to connect through love and good intention, if it's the same flow. So one person feels they're receiving it and they're sending it on and sending it on. That would be cool. Let's start a movement with that. I'm going to work on that. No, I'm not, because I have more important topics. But if any of you want to work on it, please let me know, and I'll do my best to support you and advise you, and I'll be there for when it takes place. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Tina Love and Light says Monday at what time? And this is where it gets tricky because I'm in Denmark. And for some reason, I didn't want to go just 7 p.m. Danish time because we have 1900 hours. That's 7 p.m. And I thought 19, that's just boring. 1919. I'm going to do it 1919 because my popcorn brain, and sometimes I don't think through things because Denmark is not my primary market as such, because then I would be speaking Danish. So it's 1919 Danish time, Central European time, something Berlin and Copenhagen time. I have no clue what that is all around the world. So if you just tap in to your browser or your AI or whatever and say 1919 Danish time is what here, and then you'll get the time. So that's next Monday. In 2 weeks, it might change, but I always create the live session in the coming events. So you can go in and see the live videos I have upcoming, and you can see the time there. I only do it 1 week in advance, but I should probably just put in more and see if I can get the topic on as well. They didn't give me a topic today, but that was good because I really needed to just start talking. So I got around all of these things. So, yeah. So Freya is asking why I'm speaking English. And that was because, actually, it's because Denmark, it's very hard to be yourself in Denmark. And if I'm speaking Danish, I don't have the same confidence in sending love and light and kisses because it just feels more restrained in Danish. If I say, I love you and I send you all my love and kisses, it's not going to sound right because it's almost as though it cannot be platonic purely. It cannot be, it feels fake somehow. And for some reason, I feel that when I'm speaking English and I'm doing this, I can mean it. I can say to you, I don't know you, but my heart is open to give you only pure love and intention, and without expectation and without you thinking that it means that we're going to get married or something. I have those restraints in Danish. So that's why I'm doing this in English. And I don't know. I just, also because I've been following, it started with Hay House for me, and I don't even know a lot of the Danish famous mediums and psychics and all that because I go to English speaking books, and those are where I've learned most of the material. And for some reason, my guides, they often send me information in English as well. So sometimes when I'm doing a Danish reading, I have to struggle with because I get it in English and I have to struggle to find the Danish word. And that's so weird because that's my mother tongue. But yeah, so Freya said, yeah, I get it. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. But it's really hot in here, and Denmark is not a country where we struggle with that. So it's also the energy. And Tina Love and Light says, wow, resonates a lot with me. I feel the same with the language. And oh, wow, while I'm writing this, I'm getting a tinnitus sound in my ear. Yeah, right. So Tina, if you want to do something in English, we could do an interview or something on a video and just have fun with that without expectations. And only one rule, no disappointment, because it's going to go as it's going to go. But I'm open. If you want to do something in English, I don't even know what you do, but I felt your energy and it's amazing. And I think we could have some fun. So an open invitation to anyone who wants to interview me or do something, because they want me to have a reach so that they can deliver as much help as possible for people to develop their gifts. And oh, it's so weird right now. So now I'm seeing as though someone is taking a hat and bowing and saying thank you. Like they really want to be able to help, and they're grateful for all the help that they can get. to help. It's so amazing. I love this energy system. So let me know if there are any questions you want me to take up next time. Oh, and remember, every Wednesday, I channel a healing from my healer team. I never know who's coming through, and it doesn't really matter much. I just say Odeon because that's what the collective is called. And it's different healing every time, and it's being released every Wednesday. Yeah. So maybe it would be useful for you. Usually there are messages in there too, but it's going to be short. Last week it was 22 minutes or so. Oh my God, I just have so much air. And it's so weird. You know what? Yeah, you're welcome, Tina. I'm just going to ask, why is it? Because I've seen so many psychics and mediums, they almost burp when they're doing this. So why is that? So it's a built up energy. Oh, it's a cleansing as well. So while they're working through us, all the energy that we're building up, it's actually like they're showing me like a can of soda that's being shaken. So it's the pressure from working in the energy that is somehow pushing energy up, and that's why we're burping or feeling the need for that. Okay. That's funny. So this is also why I know so much, because every time there's something I don't know, I want to know, like, why is that? Why do they do that? And they're used to it. That's why I've been having so many guides, because they need many to answer all the questions I have. But that's good for you, because now I have so much information, so you can ask about a lot of things, and I have already asked them at one point or another. Yeah. So yeah, thank you all so much, and also you, Freya, for all the love sending. Freya said you're healing. Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah, so I just want to finish off by sending gratitude to all of you who dropped by, those of you who were there in the chat, and anyone who may be looking at this at a later time, because one thing I've really understood, especially with the healing, is that time is just a concept, and your support in the future is still support, and you will probably also realize that I am supporting you. You may not have heard about me, who I am today in 2026, but you may come across this at another time, and even though you have no clue who I am, you will get this support. So I'm here for you, and you might be here for me, and it all goes around. It's all just energy, and I'm just happy to be able to be a part of it. So thank you so much, all of you, and I hope to meet you in the chat again, or in real life, or just in the flow of energy that's out there. So thank you, and take care, and have a lovely week, a lovely life. Whatever you need, I wish it for you. Mwah. Gratitude and love, and until next time, bye-bye.